our generation, we're taught that things are instant. We're constantly just bombarded with stimulation, video games, and our diets that we grew up on, where everything's got to be fast, and it's not natural. So we're probably a little behind the 8 ball there. It's always felt very vital to have a knife with you. It's probably something ingrained in us from generations and generations ago, when it was absolutely vital for you to have a knife on you for your survival, without exaggerating. There's something about that that's really satisfying. My buddy Jeff and I went and bought some really crappy knives at a market, and he noted that his knife had a removable handle, and he wanted to make his own handle. That had never even occurred to me before. So like any other time you want to learn how to do something, I got on YouTube, and before I knew it, there were not just videos on how to make a knife handle, but how to make it from scratch. And it looked accessible to me, so I gave it a shot, and it worked out, sort of. My knife was terrible, but the process worked out, and then before I knew it, I realized that any shape that I could draw on paper, I could turn into a real knife, and that just opened the floodgates to a notebook of shapes and ideas and drawings, and that's kind of where it all took off. And then I had all these knives I was making. I just couldn't stop turning these things into real things. I've always been into making things with my hands. I've always had to be creating stuff, and this is just a perfect outlet for that. My guidance counselor never suggested knife making when in high school. That was never on the sheet when you fill out what you want to do for the rest of your life when you're 17 years old. There's so much out there, so much that that you can do. You can do anything. Every job is out there, or there's a way to make every passion into a lifestyle and to make your living off of it, no matter what you want to do. There's a way to do it. I think I've been really fortunate that it all kind of came together kind of naturally. There was no fighting to make it work, really. So that was really lucky, I think, that it all kind of fell together for me that way. It was work to make it happen, but it wasn't work to find the thing that you've got to find. Everyone's got the thing. So to find something you're passionate about, and it may not even just be knives for me, that just worked as well, but just making things with my hands was really my passion. And I also happen to have this sort of subconscious desire for a tool like a knife, an appreciation for how useful a tool it is, and just how, I'm not sure what the word is, but how much you gotta have one in your life, really. That's why on my little care sheets that says on the bottom, the first rule of knife safety is always have a knife, because it's just you got to have a knife on you. So those things just work together really well, and it happened to come together for me. And in the situation I was in, and I had a little shed that I could set up to make a knife and see if I even liked doing it. And so that was fortunate for me that I had that accessible to me. This is a piece of yellow cedar burl, and so this is kind of like the raw material. It even still looks like a tree on the one side. It's pretty neat to be able to take a chunk like this, and then it's up to me to figure out what I want to take out of this to get the most out of it for the knife handle that I'm making. And then this is curly Hawaiian koa, which obviously comes from Hawaii. You can only get it from Hawaii, and this is from a guy whose business it is to create materials for guys who make things like knives or pens or anything like that. And so I like being able to support that, because just like my business is to make the best knife I can, his business is to make the best material that he can, and he does a great job at it. So I'm fully into supporting that kind of thing. Making knives is probably where I find patience, learning to take your time and do something right instead of trying to rush through it, because it's not worth it in the end. It's never worth it. You'll make mistakes, or you'll end up with a product you're not happy with. So taking your time a little bit pays off for sure. It's one of those things that you're never done learning how to be patient, I think. There's a shift back towards appreciating that kind of handmade. I mean, not even just knives, be it furniture or a pair of boots or something like that. There's a huge shift back to appreciating handmade stuff, that you know that somebody put a bunch of time into making something, not because they were being paid to, not because they had to, because their boss told them to that day, but because that's what they want to do, and they want to make it the best that they can. And so that's what you're holding in your hand, is the best that someone could do. And I think that's a pretty big deal. Lots of people will do slicing paper or a paper towel roll to kind of show off how sharp their knife is. None of that really matters. I don't make paper cutters. I make a hunting knife. And so I give it to a hunter, a guide who I know is going to put in a lifetime worth of days in the bush every season. And I want to get feedback from him. And that's the best test that my knives can have. Is how do they hold up real world applications by guys who are going to put them to the test and use them harder than anyone's going to use them. It wasn't like I woke up one morning and thought I'm going to be a knife maker, quit my job with my steady paycheck, supporting my family, and just decide to make knives. As far as doing it for a living, I kind of took the dive and decided that I'd rather look back and think at least I gave it a shot than look back and regret not taking the shot. So with a lot of support from my wife, we decided to go for it, and it's been working out, and it keeps getting better. And I get to send knives to New Zealand and France and Romania, and it's super cool. Like I've made knives for some really cool people that have given me lots of great feedback and given me some major support as far as using their influence to help me out, which has been awesome. So it keeps, every month it seems something really exciting comes up. Like someone from Chicago wants to fly to the middle of British Columbia to videotape me in my little shop making knives.
What a dumbass.
I don't know what he was thinking. But things like that keep happening, so why wouldn't I do it? It's been awesome.